We all love badminton. It is such an exciting and addictive and fun sport. With only two rackets and one shuttlecock and a good friends, you can easily spend a great afternoon together exercising. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about the history of badminton, equipment, the basic skills, and the rules of the game. So you get to know these lovely sports better. Now, what is badminton? Badminton is one of the racket sports requiring players to hit a shuttlecock across a net with a racket inside a badminton court. Generally, it comes in two forms. Singles, a one versus one game, and doubles, a two versus two game. Now you can play badminton in both indoor and outdoor environments. However, most of the world-class competitions are held in indoor area because they want to reduce the influence caused by the external factors such as wind and lights to the minimum level. Now let's talk about the history of badminton and the origin of the badminton. Now, badminton could be traced back to more than 200 years or 2,000 years ago to ancient game called battledore. It is called as bat or paddle and shuttlecock, also called bird or birdie. Similar games were played for centuries across Eurasia countries such as Greece, Egypt, China, and India, and Japan. Now, from the 1600s, battledore and shuttlecock was just a game involving two persons hitting a shuttlecock towards each other as many times as possible before it hit the ground, and it used to be an upper class game in Europe, including England. Nowadays, you can still find a similar game in Japan, which is called Hanitsuki. It is a very popular New Year's game involving a wooden paddle called hagoita and shuttle called pane. Now, this time I'm going to talk about the development of badminton. Now, according to a brief history of badminton from 1870 to 1949, written by Betty Ober, modern badminton was created by British military officers by around 1850s in British India. At that time, a net was added to the game, and because it was very popular in the garrison town of Pune, the game was known as Pune. Now, during that period, when the weather is windy and wet, instead of a shuttlecock and a woolen ball was preferred by the upper class and hence invented the ball badminton. Now, around 1870s, retired British Army officers brought the game back to England from India, and it became a very popular sport. In 1873, the Duke of Beaufort introduced the sport at his country estate badminton house in Gloucestershire, since this sport was called badminton. Now, the brief history of badminton. It was actually invented the game of, or who invented the game of badminton. And badminton was actually invented in a British India version of called Pune. British Army officers learned the game by around 1870, and they brought it back to England with them. Badminton was named badminton because the Duke of Beaufort introduced the sport at his country estate located in Gloucestershire, which is called Badminton House in 1873. Now, what is the original name of the badminton? The original name of badminton was called battledore and shuttlecock, and you can find in similar games in ancient Greece and Egypt. It is used to be a game that could be multiple players involved, and each of them will hit a shuttlecock with feeders with rackets. Now, in 18th century, since a similar game had become very popular in the Pune version in British India, It was also named Puna before it was called badminton. Now, why is badminton called badminton? Badminton was called badminton because it was officially introduced to England in the Badminton House, a country estate owned by Duke of Beaufort in Gloucestershire by 1873. Since then, badminton named badminton instead of Puna and badminton, battledore and shuttlecock.